for us your final pre-match press conference.
Oh!
Alan, can you describe what you're feeling right now?
It's a bit strange for me, but I'm slowly understanding that it finishes, so I'm adapted now, and I will try to finish as well as I can, and hopefully not disappoint you for my last press conference.
How strange has the last 4 days been for you since that big goodbye, emotional goodbye at MSC?
It was very strange, and I'm grateful for that, because at the end of the day you can say it's sad, but if you look at it in an objective way, I must say it's 22 years when you have a privilege to manage for 22 years at a club of that stature. You should be very, very happy and say thank you very much. It was a great privilege, and that's how I look at it.
And how difficult is it, aside from your own personal situation, how difficult is it for the players to get themselves up for the Leicester game and then the Huddersfield game when really was...
Well, I must say the players' attitude was great last night, and they were fantastic. And I believe there's a special bond in the team. There's something waiting to come out of this team that is special, that I like very much, and hopefully they can express that next season. But if you look at it in a very objective way, we scored 73 goals, and we'll score more certainly, but we conceded too many goals, so it's quite simple to look at what needs to be improved.
And just lastly from me, can you just describe how the next few days will pan out, both pre-Huddersfield and afterwards?
Well, I think I will, as I always said, I will try to do my job until last minute. I work here, and then think about the future. At the moment, I don't at all, because I'm sitting in front of you. I don't know. I don't realize it's my last press conference, because I have just a game of Huddersfield in mind, and try to do as well as I can my job until the last minute I'm here.
Arsene, are you someone who gets emotional?
Yes, but I'm very passionate, and at a very young age I realized that if I want to survive in this job, I have to get control over my emotions, or I will not survive. So I don't know if you imagine, but at 33 years of age, I was responsible of a top team in France, and I'm 68 today. I never stopped. So there is a long learning process of controlling who you really are, control the animal that is inside you. And that helped me a lot, because I went through some fantastic periods in my life, and as well as through some more difficult periods. And the fact that I managed to keep control of my emotions, of my reactions, helped me a lot to do my job. Now, after I finish here, I can reconnect a little bit and be a bit more who I am really,
Have we not seen the real Arsene Wenger?
You have seen the real Arsene Wenger. One aspect of me that is a desperate guy who wants to win football games, and because that's the thing that matters, and that's what is really a big part of my personality.
How difficult have you found it since you made the decision to leave?
It's difficult because this is my life. Every year, I have 20,000 trees out there. I saw everyone like that. They are now massive, So, and I will greet every one of them before I leave, and say thank you. So, it is, of course, that's my life, and I don't know anything else. And that's why, of course, it will be difficult. But on the other hand, I will leave a club where I can be proud of what is behind me as well, because it's a fantastic structure, fantastic conditions for the next manager, and I think I have been a little part in the development of a club that is historical, and that has a huge fan base, and that I leave the club as well in the conditions where the future of the club is in a strong position.
What question would you want to ask your successor?
No, I just would say the advice I would give to him is to give his best and respect the values of the club, you know, because this club is respected all over the world, and I would just like him to bring his own ideas. Will be a different speech, a different way to see the game, and that is a chance as well for the players to see something different. But as well, on the other hand, I would say respect what has been built here, and what people care about as well. And I think you have seen on Sunday when you speak about the goodbye I had with the fans, is that somewhere some of the fans don't agree always with my decisions, but I think they respected one thing, is that I was honest and loyal and committed to the values of the club, and to give my best for the club, and that's what they want to tell me. We agree with you on that, you know, and I would like my successor to do that as well.
And in terms of, listen, I mean, many memories over the best part of 22 years. Do you have a most cherished memory?
Maybe my first title here, because I came completely unknown and I could win in my first full year in charge the championship. But funny-wise, I would say personally, from 2006 to 2015 was certainly the period where I needed to be the strongest and did the best job. Because I accepted to commit for 5 years when you build the stadium to work with restricted resources and keep the club in a position where we can pay our debts back. And I personally think I did my best job during that period. Not the most glamorous, maybe, but the most difficult.
And if there was one match that you could change, what would that be?
It's always the last one, when I think not Leicester, because Leicester was nothing at stake, but Atletico Madrid, because when you come out of these two games and you think you're out of a semi-final of Europa League, when you come out of the first game, you come out with a result 1-1 when you should be 3-0 or nearly already qualified. It's what you would like to change, because during that game, even with my experience, when it was 1-0 in the second half, I never thought it would finish 1-1. I thought maybe we'll not score the second goal, but we cannot concede a goal. We've never crossed halfway line. So that's always the last pain is the biggest one.
So that more than the Champions League final, more than the
Champions League final is 2006. You know, that's 11 years ago. Of course, it will remain but my last pain is the last big defeat is that.
Find it for me then. What would going out on a winning note mean?
I think over the last result will not matter. I will more say to the players, look, we have a way to prepare the future. The best way to do that is to win your last game and go in a positive mind into next season. And we have gone through a season that has ups and downs, but they have created something special. And I would like that to come out in the last game by the way we play the game. And in fairness, that's what they did last night, you know, and I hope that for them the best way to prepare next season is to win the last game.
Is your legacy all the trophies you've won, or is it the magnificent stadium that will always be Ashburn?
It's a bit of all of that, you know, but I would say that the legacy is what you want, what you think is important in the way you behave with your players. You know, I get many messages from players who are not always the trophies we want together. They are more the human aspect that the players keep, and the values of the club that the players keep when they realize when they go somewhere else sometimes. And So that's what you want, and after that you want to the style of play, the style to play. I think because the manager has an influence on the way you play football, the idea that you want to give from the game you love, the structures of the club, the way you can influence individual people's life of the players as well. All that together, you would want to have a little bit to be remembered, all of that.
You've answered some pretty repetitive questions and inane questions during your time here, mainly from me, probably. But in general, this has been part of what we've come every week to speak to you, to get your words of wisdom. I mean, are you going to miss speaking to us lot?
Yes, because nobody will ask me anymore about things. But, you know, I believe, personally, I always told you many times, I love football, I love the game. Every time I can talk about what I love in the game with you, I'm happy. I didn't enjoy many press conferences because it was always, not always, but sometimes about different reasons to get my emotional response. But every time I can talk about the game and the things I love in the game, I'm happy on that front. I will miss the press conferences.
The last one is a kind of football-related question. And are you the last of the long-term managers at the club? I mean, is this a very unique press conference today because we're saying goodbye to someone who's been at the club for a long time?
It is a very unique press conference because Ferguson was the last one, you know, and I take this opportunity to wish him well. I see he's doing well, but he was, I think he made 26 years when I'm with 22. But you have some younger managers as well. You're already 5-6 years in charge, you know. 22, I don't know. You need. You never can say you're the last. I'm the last one. It can happen again.
There was a time when the newly promoted clubs to the Premier League, more or less all of them went back down again. But this season, they're all promoted. Your next opponents, Huddersfield, have celebrated. What do you think that says about the gulf between the Premier League and the Championship now?
The Premier League buys all the international players, and the academies have produced some very good players. So they go down to the Championship, but they are prepared when they come up. And I must say the financial power of the Championship has improved as well. So they can buy, even in the Championship, foreign players sometimes who have quality. And I would say a few years ago, the Championship players were not prepared physically. That has gone. I would say in the lower leagues, they produce the same intensity physically than the Premier League, and sometimes more. So the physical difference has gone completely. They have all good managers as well now because their managers are educated and prepared, and that's why they survive. And especially in the first year, they are ready for a fight. They know from the first game of the season they will have to fight to stay in the league, and that creates a bond and a desire and a readiness to fight until the last second. You speak about Huddersfield. They go to City, they go to Chelsea, they play Arsenal. At the moment, they haven't lost one of the games, you know. That is absolutely exceptional. You would think, my friend, that 0 point in the first 2 games, and they made 2 points.
In terms of the changes that you've seen in the Premier League, what have been the biggest for you, and also how much do you think you've been responsible for some of those changes?
There's 2 aspects. I would say the Premier League has created many jobs. When I arrived, we were 80 at Arsenal. We are today 700. So that means from a private little company where you know everybody, we have gone to a normal company with a HR department where everything has to be processed, regulated, and is not down anymore to your initiative, but every single decision has to go through a process that is in an over-regulated society. Is sometimes discouraging. So the human aspect has dropped a little bit, you know, and on the other hand, the financial power of the clubs has become huge. On the other hand, in 20 years, the ownership has changed completely. And if you look at the ownership when I arrived in England and what it is today, it has become completely worldwide aspect, and England has not owning any more of the clubs. And so it's much more international. The world has become globalized and open. And so the competition is worldwide now as well with the players, because these owners, they buy as well players from all over the world. And the Premier League has become a world championship. The next evolution, maybe I will see you in a few years, and you will have certainly a European League over the weekends. The domestic league will certainly play Tuesday, Wednesday. And so I think that's the next step that we will see.
Arsene, here we are at the end of your time at Arsenal. Back in your first press conference, you said, the basic strength of the club is that there is an English spirit. I took this job as a challenge, and I think that Arsenal was a club with big potential, and the team is to rebuild. Can you remember your first press conference and how you feel?
I remember how bad my English was, and the curiosity that people had about me, because I came from nowhere. But I completely maintained what I said there, and one of my jobs was to keep faith and be faithful to the qualities I've found here. The world has changed, you know, the players are richer as well. And so I think, of course, I tried always to maintain the tradition and the values of this club as much as I could. And overall, I believe it was not too bad.
What do you still want to achieve in your career?
Sorry?
What do you still want to achieve in your career?
What I want to achieve is, I had a personal fight with myself in my whole life, is that to be as good as I can be. And that I will continue to do that.
Arsene, looking back over your time at Arsenal, what was your best team, 1998 or the Invincibles?
2004. I would say the achievement is nobody has done it since in the Premier League. So I believe that was I loved the team in 1998 because I found some players who had quality, were much better than I thought they were when I arrived here, and were very intelligent as well. And they were an experienced team. After we added a bit more exceptional quality, you know, in 2004, 2002 and 4. So overall, maybe invincible team, yes.
Since you announced you're leaving, you had a great reception last night at Leicester. The Burnley fans.
They love me all now, you know.
Are you surprised because you was on the front page of the newspapers? There was 5 Live done a special show about you on a Friday night. You announced it. Did that surprise you, or was you sort of expecting?
Yes, it's a pleasant surprise. You know, I think people respect somewhere that I try to play football in the right way and to give pleasure to people. I always think the most important when you wake up in the morning is to go, oh, I watch Arsenal today, I have a chance to see a good game. That's what I try to do, to give people an experience in life that is not every day. Every day is not a pleasure, you know. And I think football has a responsibility, is to try to give some people a special moment in their life. After that, you do not always manage, unfortunately, to do it, but at least you have to give them a hope. They can see something special and can be transported somewhere that they do not always experience on a daily basis.
2 questions in one, sorry, Mark. Why always 8:45 in the morning for the press conferences? And would you be open to managing England possibly one day?
First, I like that you have to get up early, because I know in the press nobody likes to get up early. They usually start at 10, 11. And so to make you suffer a little bit as well. And I know if I start early, we not all turn up, so it will be a bit easier for me. And will I manage England one day? I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I've had the opportunity, but At the moment, I am behind England and behind Gareth Southgate, and hopefully will stay for 22 years.
Last couple.
After Manchester City this season broke so many records, do you think they're going to keep going the same level and be difficult to catch up with them?
They will be the team to beat next season. If you look at the number of points they made and the difference between them and the others, and they glide well through financial fair play very well. It's a club who has a great manager, very great team. They have a very intelligent leading team. They anticipate all the problems, and I think they are ahead on the way on the forward thinking. So yes, I agree with you that they will be the team to beat next season.
Are you're going to keep following and watching the Premier League when you leave? The plan in summer, you're going to the World Cup? Or?
I will watch the World Cup. I will be at the World Cup. I will be at the opening game. I think it's Russia against Saudi Arabia. And I'll watch, of course, the Premier League. When I wake up in the morning, I look first what kind of game is at night, and that will not change.
Arsene, one of the things that Ivan said when he gave his press conference on the day that your announcement was confirmed, that part of the reason of the timing of it was to give you this chance to have this sort of long goodbye, if you like. Have you enjoyed having that opportunity?
I enjoyed some aspects of it, yes, and not all, because it's not always easy, to cut slowly with what you do on every day, and always you want to do it as well as you can, and you always do not want to forget to thank people who deserve it. There are some people here that I employed 20 years ago who did fight for me every single day, and so it's not easy to say goodbye.
Because the last two contracts you've signed were sort of after the end of the season. I mean, was there a part of you that kind of wanted to see how it got to the end of the season?
Yeah, of course. Because there was more questioning as well. You do not feel the same adhesion to what you do, and you think yourself after when you stay for such a long period, you question yourself: is it time now to go or not? And when you don't feel, especially that on your side, you have somewhere to open your eyes and your ears to see. We live in a society where people want quick change always, and that has changed in the recent years.
Have you booked a holiday?
Not yet, honestly, no. I don't know what I will do.
What will you do the next couple?
Maybe go to Russia.
What will you do the next couple of weeks, though? Will you stay here? Will you go back to France?
I have some work to do in France on Monday, Tuesday, and after I will come back on Thursday and clear my office, and that will be it. After, I don't know. Thank you.
It's got the newspaper.
Oh.
Yeah. One last discussion.